All right, some stocks I'll be watching on Thursday. YOKU. There's nothing that bullish here. It's pretty ugly, but I guess it gapped up 3 days ago on news. I think Alibaba took a stake in them, and you know what? Huge volume there, and it's just a couple days down. Took out the lows of that day, but you've got a tail there. If I pan out a little farther, you can see that back here, this 22 area was resistance. It took it out for a little bit down here, but basically the area became support. Um, I think it's overdue for a bounce here. So I have YOKU on bounce watch. A lot of times when you get a big day like this and then it takes out the lows of that day, that's just what you call a stop run. It just took out the rest of the stops, and you notice it's right back up near the highs where it closed today. So I think this is a great candidate for a bounce play on Thursday. DANG, which also tends to move with YOKU. What do you have? Like 3, 4, 5 days down in a row. Little hammer candle, or almost a hammer there, and touched the 200-day today. A lot of times I look for that for stocks on bounce watch. So DANG, YOKU, both on watch for a bounce. Little lower price stock, KOOL. I don't know anything about why this thing gapped up on 10 million shares, but it's 4 days down in a row now, and since it gapped up, hasn't broken its early opening high. So the first time it does, preferably an afternoon high of daybreak, like a narrow range like today and then a break in the afternoon, you could get a pretty nice trade in it. Again, I don't know anything about why this thing gapped up. I rarely research the reason behind a move. I just play it off the charts. And I can't say that I love that one, but you could get a decent little percentage pop in a very short period of time just by having that thing on a chart while you're trading. So it certainly isn't my top priority to watch, but I will have it on a chart. VHC had a really nice move the other day, and then a gap up, and now the days are, 3 days down after the gap up, but the days are getting narrow. So kind of the same thing as at KOOL. If I can get a narrow range and an afternoon break, I bet you get a nice quick pop in VHC. Doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart. I want to watch Weight Watchers, WTW. Now, it was kind of rolling over into the close, into earnings, right? It had earnings after hours. So 1980 close. And there's the intraday. Let me go to after hours, include extended hours on there. And this thing went all the way up to, past 23.50. Still trading right now, by the way. And it's at 22-ish. So if you go back to the daily, it's above, 60s will show it. 60-minute candles. It's basically trying to get above this long base that it's been in, right? So if you have a stock that's rolling over into earnings, right, and you got sellers coming in, and then it gaps up above all the recent highs, that's a nice pro gap to the upside. So WTW with a proper setup could be a good long trade tomorrow. I don't trade after hours, so I didn't do anything with it after hours. Other stocks worth watching, PBI, nice volume and near recent highs, so that one's on watch. ISR, I watch this one all the time. I actually got this, thanks to the chat room, in pre-market at 205. Guys were looking up the news, and I was able to get it at 205, which was lower than it traded all day. The low today was 213, but I got it in pre-market at 205. I didn't get everything out of it that I could have, but still, nice work on the news there in the chat room, enabling me to get in that one. And then AVNR, I have to have this on watch. Now, I'm not chasing this thing, but that's massive volume. It moved up so fast today that it got halted a couple times. But I'm not going to trade tomorrow without having this one on a chart as well. And then I have one other stock that I'm looking for a potential swing trade in, but I need to put together a video on that. So bear with me on that, and I'll try to put together a video. And if it looks like it's going to set up, I'll send out the video tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to quit babbling, but that's the watch list for day trades for Thursday. Have a good night.